Oh yeah, let's get our Phoenix right on. We gotta go over the evidence first. Anything up here? The bureau lobby? Still more hidden in here. I don't know why oh. The plaza people. Angry and on edge. Uneasy. Sense of something. Go. Oh, I think I have everything. I have all the dots filled out. Oh, there's one missing over here. R&D. Residential complex. It says 45% done though. Ash. What are you up to, Ash? Person he is pursuing. Dots. The mysterious woman. They appear to be unregistered and are not in possession of a visitor's permit. They're also in possession of a gun. That's it? That's everything? Oh wait, did we get an archive? Investigation report, myths from the eastern cities. Submitted by Mason Mathers, inscription found on a wall in one of the eastern ruins. It seems to be related to the impact of the giant meteor over 200 years ago. Is this more alt-deus stuff? When at last the ancient meteors relinquished their assault, humanity returned to the surface, guided out of the gloom by new stars. But they emerged into a barren, unforgiving wasteland, barely able to support the future of humankind. Alright. I think we're done here. Is there any way to check my evidences? Key items. Oh, can I add stuff to the board? Oh, I got a bunch of stuff to add to the board. Holy crap. This is probably the end of chapter 1. According to the security tag, the name on the suspicious person is often spotted in the city as Irie Clover, senior researcher at the QI Research. If it's not suspicious intruder, who the heck is it? Oh, I just didn't click it right. That girl Irie works at the Quantum Interference Research Lab. For a reason I still don't know, she went to visit the prof's house on the day of the incident. And I still haven't figured out why she keeps trying to kill me. Is she related to the case somehow? Or perhaps... maybe she kills me on purpose, knowing that I have time travel powers. It's like, you didn't do the thing correctly, so I have to help you rewind time, that sort of thing. She did access the clock tower, and that's where the time machine is. Maybe she's a good guy. Oh my god, I just cracked the case. Because she seems to be pleasant when she's not shooting me, which I know is kind of a low bar, but... Scan. Stop. I just want to read the one thing. Can I just grab it? No. Scan data. This is really annoying. The underground section of the Rumford residence connects to the lab and the bedroom. The underground room housed rudimentary aeon particle experiment equipment. The underground sealed laboratory?
I think I get it.
I wondered how the marionette gained access to the professor's lab, but... I'm betting they used the lab's hidden door to enter the room. The professor was probably using the hidden door to keep his marionette research a secret. Scan data of the professor's body. Recovered underground is complete. Time of death 7:55. Cause of death hemorrhagic shock. It appears the victim was stabbed in the left side of the chest with a sharp blade. Corpse? Probably the corpse.
I see.
The professor was killed in his lab. Was he? Oh yeah, the lab. Then someone moved the body into the underground lab. Those are the two crucial facts. I'm absolutely sure they hold the key to revealing the truth. Was that it? Oh no, we got this one. Research data about the marionette from 12 years ago. It appears that the marionette Cecilia was the subject of Albert's research 12 years ago. Secret research.
I see.
The marionette Cecilia was built by the professor 12 years ago. They ought to have been in the underground lab at the time of the incident, but I don't have enough evidence to prove it right now. Evidence to prove they were there. Is it too late to find any? I forgot to grab the disc. Oh no, I was interrupted. Oh no, I did find it. Yeah, we brought it over to my desk and then we got it. That's what. That's what was what? This is my desk. Registered user Hal Scion. I wonder what I'd be doing right now if the incident had never happened. Kicking back, watching some YouTube videos. Alright, final check. We got a new dot up there, but we'll check it in a second. Log data from the marionette's biological pod right up until the incident. They were asleep in the pod. Did I do this one yet? I don't think I did this one yet.
I think I get it.
Cecilia, the marionette, was in the underground lab until right before the incident. And I should be able to use this to prove it. Oh yeah, the updated info. Right. So I did this is the panel. Oh, the mutant specimen, right. I did the toy box, that's the panel. Kairos falsification, the phonograph, these three we did. So we're all up to date. Observation log regarding Cecilia. Cecilia awoke shortly before the professor was murdered. Coincidence? I think not. Mysterious research assistant. Quantum Interference Research Institute. Her name is Irie Clover. Why is this name not filled in? We have the name. Biological pod in the underground lab. Cecilia's presence in the underground lab until the day of the incident was confirmed by the pod's log. And Irie Clover. Her name is Irie Clover, appears to be a QI Research Institute researcher. Unknown background. The tag she wore bore her name and her date of birth. Doesn't explain why she looks 10 years younger than she is though. She's a Time Lord too! She came from 12 years ago! Oh my god, I figured it out. Part of it anyway. Where am I going? Oh yeah, I have to go to the tribunal. Where's the tribunal, Lily?
Did you forget something?
Yeah, where the tribunal is.
Once you're ready, head to the tribunal entrance.
Yep.
The crystal in the center of the plaza is the entrance to the tribunal.
Why would that be the entrance? That makes no sense. Oh, we got some fucking mood lighting going on right now. Oh god. This place is decked out.
Lily.
That's the gate you use when there's a trial on, right?
Yeah.
It leads to the tribunal. That's where Eustace is.
Hmm?
Aren't you gonna go over everything you found so far before you head to that tribunal? Already did. At the tribunal, you will have to present the evidence found during your investigation. Check your investigation log to go over the details of the case. Oh yeah. Can I go to AD? Does it look like cool in AD? Looks the same. The music's not as cool though. Let's go back to the cool music. Oh damn.
Well then, let's get going. Shall we?
Special Supervisor Hal Sion. Identification code confirmed. This public trial will commence shortly.
In this trial, only myself and the supervisors have the authority to make statements,
That means you, Lily. Shut your mouth.
along with Mr. Tazaki and the witness, who have been granted permission to do so. Albert Rumford died on December 17th at his home in the Research District. Time of death presumed to be 7:55. Cause of death assumed to be murder.
Murder isn't a cause of death. It was murder by stabbing.
Allow me to give an overview of the incident, based on the evidence brought to light. According to the scan of the body that was discovered, the cause of death was a puncture wound from a roughly 23-centimeter long blade. The murder weapon has not been recovered.
Analyzing.
The corpse was discovered in the laboratory at 9 on December 17th. It vanished shortly after. The lab access registry indicates that Keith Tazaki was the only individual to enter the lab after midnight on December 17.
Objection, Your Honor.
There is no evidence the access registry has been tampered with. Albert's body was later recovered in the secret underground room. The room was accessible via the bedroom and the lab. But someone with close ties to the professor may well have known about the underground room. Next, let me describe what took place at the scene of the crime on December 17th. Keith Tazaki arrived at Albert's house shortly before 8.
It doesn't look much like Keith.
The lab door doesn't open until 8 exactly, so he waited by the entrance. However, Mr. Tazaki entered the room as soon as the door opened at 8. And proceeded to stab the professor to death with the knife he'd brought with him.
Objection.
Then, when Ms. Simmons arrived, he hid within the house. And while she was distracted, moved the corpse to the underground room. He then placed the body in the biological pod and exited via the bedroom to the hall. He then likely destroyed the access panel to cover his tracks.
Is that how much data I've
Based
collected?
on the evidence,
Oh.
this reconstruction has an 82.2% plausibility rating.
Not
The
good
odds that
enough.
Mr. Tazaki is responsible are overwhelmingly high.
I mean, they're high, but they're not overwhelmingly high.
For crying out loud. The only reason I'm in the frame is because you guys haven't found anyone else who fits the bill. That sound about right? Whatever. Let's say I did it. What was my motive?
We can hypothesize. However, we do not place any value in motive.
I think you should. That's the prime reason for committing a crime.
Who is responsible? How was the crime carried out? These are the crucial questions. Very well. Today, we formally indict Keith Tazaki as a suspect in this murder case. You shall be dealt with in accordance with the laws of the city. Supervisor, we assume you have no objections?
Objection. Me? I have
I saw
objections.
I know he's not responsible. I need to show proof that someone else is the culprit. Eustace, I've spent every waking hour of the last few days investigating this case. The truth is still out there, buried. Before you indict him, please, just give me a little more time.
Supervisor Sion,
It's pronounced Scion.
this is a public trial. A vast number of this city's residents are observing proceedings via augmented dreaming. Your duty is not to fuel their unease and anxiety with theatrics. but to protect and preserve their peaceful slumber. Am I making myself clear?
Maybe Eustace doesn't want me unveiling the truth.
Too bad.
Ultimately, the citizens will determine whether your claims are truthful.
I think someone else was responsible for the crime. Allow me to explain.
Who is responsible for the murder of the city's founder? Share your theories with Eustace. Reposition log data by touching it with your hand. Data can be submitted after holding it at a specified point for a period of time. Who is responsible for the murder of the city's founder? Negamaya.
The professor was conducting research on a specialized humanoid in the secret lab. This humanoid, the marionette, is known as Cystelia. They are the one responsible for his murder.
Scanning of the underground lab was completed before the trial began. But we found no trace of this marionette you describe. Formless ghosts don't warrant discussion here, in the tribunal. I suppose you can provide us with the evidence to prove the marionette's culpability.
Proof that the missing marionette killed the professor. I ought to be able to prove my case with all the evidence I've gathered.
I don't think you can prove your case. I think you can put forward a good hypothesis, though.
4 of the rooms in the professor's house are key to solving this case. The lab, the scene of the crime. The secret underground room. The bedroom with the mysterious puzzle. The hall connecting to the entrance. Allow me to explain the irregularities we found in each of those rooms. It's time to unveil the truth we discovered at the heart of this case.
You've got plenty of info in your investigation log. Just explain it all step by step.
Go for it, mister! Cross-reference the relevant information you found in each location!
What did you see that might be connected to the culprit's movements?
What did I see that might be connected to the culprit's movements? The Aeon particle-sensitive flower.
Time to rethink things.
What? That proves that she was there, though. The falsified Chronos? That doesn't prove that she was there. I mean, that took place in the lab, but... Oh, this is a picture from the underground lab. That's why. What?
This isn't the piece of the puzzle I'm looking for.
Body discovered in the underground lab?
The body found in the underground room.
Oh, that's the underground lab? I thought that was the above ground lab. No, this is the underground lab over here. This is the above ground lab. Why am I talking about the underground lab?
Tell us what you found there.
Secret underground lab. Well, I found all 3 of these there. Secret passage.
Time to rethink things.
Sensitive flower. This is not very,
This isn't the piece of the puzzle I'm looking for.
Everyone's getting pissed. Calm down now. Focus.
The marionette that disappeared from the underground room. The lab with the hidden door.
What does the room have to do with the culprit?
Memory-based puzzle, I guess.
Time to rethink things.
Origin of the shrink from the bedroom. The reset time takes so long.
The source of the shriek in the bedroom.
You're almost there. There must be some trace of the culprit in here, too.
Hall leading to the entrance. Undisclosed visit. Mysterious research assistant.
The corrupted access panel registry. 5 inexplicable points relating to the case. I can prove the Marionette's existence and culpability with the evidence I submitted. Allow me to go over what happened at the crime scene on the morning of the incident.
It appears
Are they
many of the
clapping?
citizens
This is a
are
courtroom.
in agreement with you. They're expecting you to uncover the truth in your account. Very well. I will permit you to explain the course of events in the reconstruction space.
Hal, Supervisor Sion,
It's pronounced Scion.
you'll now be transferred to a reconstruction based on the details in your investigation log.
Okay.
You will then reconstruct the particulars of the incident.
Okay.
Proceed with care. You'll only get one chance to win the citizens over.
Elaine, no need to go freaking him out like that. Don't get so worked up. Just focus on keeping your story straight. That's all there is to it.
Initiating crime scene simulation. Let us begin.
Cool. Initialize reconstruction space.
Pull both handles outwards to enter the reconstruction space, mister.
Display the crime scene reconstruction space. Touch the panel to initialize the system. Pull the things apart. Easy. Whee! Trippy. Starting emulation.
Is this some kind of virtual reality? It looks just like the prof's house.
By the way, Hal, the simulation system is the result of your ability, memory diving, being patched into the AD system.
I don't know why we would need that. That seems overly elaborate. We already have scans of the entire place.
Your hypotheses based on the evidence you found will play out within the simulation. So take a deep breath and let the citizens hear your description of what happened.
Here goes.
Commencing reconstruction. I don't
This
get
is
to walk
the
around.
secret basement room found hidden beneath the professor's house.
The culprit used the biosphere as a weapon. I don't think so.
Its existence was even kept hidden from the Administration Bureau. This is where the professor carried out his research on the marionette Cystelia. The marionette's nature is closer to that of a variant than that of a human. It appears they were an attempt by the professor to artificially construct a variant. They were here until the morning of the incident. Why are they missing now, you ask? Allow me to reconstruct the marionette's movements on that fateful morning.
Suddenly we got tons of rain. Oh, why am I going inside her?
Cystelia awoke at 7 that morning. Yes, at the exact time the clock tower bell rang out. The marionette likely intended to harm the professor from the outset. That's my assumption based on the fact the murder weapon is missing from the room. So, what did Cystelia use to murder the professor with? Time to trace the culprit's movements.
Describe the sequence of events in chronological order. Touch items related to the incident to reconstruct Cecilia's actions. The awakened marionette. Modified biological pod. Let me get my knife. Yes. The culprit used the pruning knife as a weapon.
A pruning knife used on the plant.
It's certainly a perfect match for the wound.
So the marionette took a weapon and left the room of its own accord.
Very astute, Ash. We don't pay you for nothing.
Next, the marionette headed for the lab, where the professor was eventually killed. That day, the lab was shut, and admittance to the lab was strictly regulated. However, access to the lab from the underground room is possible without alerting anyone. Time to examine the door and move to the lab.
Spoilers. So she didn't have to push the little switches, I guess?
Excuse me?
Excuse me. It ought to be possible to get through the lab from here.
So, this is...
The room's existence was concealed using a sophisticated jamming device. My conclusion is that the professor falsified his Chronos log data, so his secret research went undetected.
The marionette, Cecilia. Headed to the scene of the crime via the door leading to the lab.
Nice.
Well, that definitely explains why they weren't in the access registry.
There is a plant that grows in response to the presence of ion particles in the lab.
I don't think it grows that rapidly, though.
The faint trace of particles given off by the marionette triggered the plant's abnormal growth.
You often see plants like that out in the eastern desert. You can see how bad contamination is getting based on how the plant's doing. Pretty neat.
I'm sure the professor must have been startled by the intruder. Cecilia approached the professor and attacked him with the weapon.
They actually wanted me to stab him. Good stuff.
The professor was stabbed in the left side of his chest with a knife and died of his wounds.
Well, that correlates with the results from the scan of the corpse.
It doesn't correlate 100% though. There's supposed to be another blood puddle right here.
The orientation of the corpse matches up perfectly with your account.
That's how they used the hidden door to access the lab and kill the professor.
Actually, they probably made a second puddle when they were moving him.
The door to the lab was later unlocked at 8, when Mr. Tozaki discovered the crime scene.
Yeah, I don't know how many blood spatters there was when he walked in.
Cecilia then fled through the open door. It's highly likely that the marionette is still in possession of the murder weapon.
Well, back to me.
Their whereabouts are still unknown.
It certainly seems plausible, but what about the professor's body?
I haven't finished my explanation just yet.
Hold your horses.
The professor's murderer and the person who hid his body were two different people.
Yep.
So, who hid the professor's body, you ask? That
Keith
was you.
Tozaki.
Keith Tozaki.
What?
Let's reconstruct the events of that morning, after you spotted the marionette. After the marionette fled, Mr. Tozaki was left alone at the scene. He didn't want anyone to get the impression he was involved in the incident. So he quickly examined the scene and hatched a cover-up plan to hide the body. But then, someone entirely unexpected appeared. The professor's friend, Martha Simmons, being spotted would sink his cover-up plan. So he hid and waited to see what would happen. In the end, the place he chose to hide was... I'll choose somewhere I won't be seen.
Where'd Martha come in? From behind me? That only leaves one option. But how would he open it? I didn't think this far through. Just give me a second. Because the music came on in the other room. So what did he do? Go downstairs, around, come back up the other way? And then set off the phonograph? Oh, it just literally tells you. It's like, go here. Oh no, it gives me a second option. The key is hid in the secret passage. The door is slightly ajar. You could easily slip through and get to the basement. How did I know that, though?
Keith Tozaki headed behind the door to the underground room that had been left ajar.
That checks out. You'd have a hard time finding someone there.
And that's why there was no sign of him when Ms. Simmons discovered the professor's body. But he still wasn't in a position to hide the body.
The spatter was there in the recreation, though. And that was based on Martha Simmons' memories.
Ms. Simmons' attention away from the body.
Pretty sure. Or was that in the present? Maybe only the body was recreated in the from her memories. Maybe the blood spatter was really there. I don't know. You'd think a discrepancy like that would show up.
With that objective in mind, he headed for the bedroom. After discovering the body, Martha Simmons heard a noise coming from the bedroom and left the crime scene. The source of that noise was... I think they'll understand straight away if I demonstrate the sound for them.
The gramophone.
Keith Tozaki used the gramophone to draw Martha Simmons' attention.
You're right. It definitely does sound like a shriek.
And that's how he lured her out of the lab and into the bedroom.
Giggity.
He passed through the underground room again and headed back to the lab for the body. By hiding the corpse, he was leaving only minimal traces of the crime in the scene.
Body discovered in the underground lab.
In the underground room, he placed the body in the empty biological pod.
Oh, do I have to do this? I still don't know why this doesn't work sometimes. There we go. I really don't know why that doesn't work.
After that, he left the bedroom and headed for the hall.
What about the homeostasis kit?
He moved swiftly to ensure he went undetected.
Okay. Oh, I gotta break the thingy, don't I? Whatcha? Looks like he could have broken the panel using his prosthetic arm. Smash.
He destroyed the panel using his prosthetic left arm.
He left the scene of the crime. That's the parlor. That's the exit. Keith escaped by the entrance.
While Miss Simmons was looking for the missing body, he snuck out through the entrance door. That's how he escaped from the crime scene. That sums up my account regarding the missing body. That is everything that happened on the morning of the incident.
Reconstruction complete. Take that!
Keith Tozaki may have attempted a cover-up of the incident at the crime scene, but he is not responsible for the professor's murder, no. The culprit is the professor's very own research subject, Cecilia, and they're still out there, somewhere in the city.
Alone and scared.
That was an exquisite reconstruction. It's as if you saw the events with your own two eyes. We accept the supervisor's testimony. We hereby indict Cecilia as a suspect in the murder of Professor Albert Rumford. Use of firearms is approved. Supervisors, your orders are to terminate the suspect on site.
That concludes this public trial.
Maybe we should take her in for questioning? Seems a bit excessive to just shoot her. She's only armed with a knife.
Eustace.
How? I must say you've certainly distinguished yourself. You've brought to light every aspect of the case, even those perhaps best left uncovered.
You wanted to keep the Marionette's existence a secret, didn't you? Why?
Remember, the people don't want the truth. They want the illusion of tranquility.
They're not gonna get tranquility if the criminal goes free.
They leave governance to me, so they can go on living in blissful ignorance.
They can do that after we process the proper criminal.
How can they be happy like that? Living in a dream world. Not facing up to reality. This system you've created, it's nothing but smoke and mirrors.
Are you sure you'll be able to bear the weight of reality? You intrigue me, Hal. For that, I'm going to share a little piece of information with you.
Regarding QIS-type organic humanoid Cecilia.
Well, without further ado, in time you would have found out anyway. So allow me to tell you in advance. We were aware of the marionette Cecilia's existence.
Huh? You knew about them?
The marionette is the result of a joint research project between the professor and I. We built it 12 years ago to use in an experiment. The marionette is a copy of a variant that was cooperating with our research at the time. They were also used in the experiment Albert carried out 3 years ago.
Not surprised about that.
Likewise in the experiments to test and refine augmented dreaming functionality.
So it was just another lab rat, like me and the others.
You could say so. It was put into the care of the Bureau after the experiment. However, when it awoke, it slaughtered the officers guarding it and went into hiding.
So it has a body count?
Bafflingly, it returned once again to the professor.
And you covered it up, because people have only said that murders occurred like 30 years ago, and that was like 12 years ago. Damn, you people.
You played dumb because it's a confidential matter in your dealings with the other cities. I'm guessing you knew about this too, Director General?
I did.
Sus.
And the missing data in the underground lab?
Yes, that was my order. The Marionette is a strictly classified asset. It must be kept secret from the residents.
The relevant dossier is classified, but I've granted you access. The Marionette is a threat to the city. You must not approach them. Destroy them. Before speaking to it, before even making eye contact.
I got time travel powers. I've been murdered once or twice before, so I think I'll talk to her. Take my chances. Cecilia.
I'm sorry about that.
If you keep on frowning like that, you'll get wrinkles, you know? Besides, we know your hands are tied.
I wish you'd said something to us. At least then we might have been more useful.
That's true.
Listen to him, getting his sulk on. It's only because he looks up to you so much.
You did the right thing, you know. The Marionette is still out there on the loose, after murdering the professor. Ideally, it's something we shouldn't even have to hide from the residents. Anyway, you did well, Hal. I'm impressed. It's hard to believe this is your first case.
Hey, miss! I work my socks off too! How about a little compliment from me?
Lily, it's too soon to celebrate. We still haven't solved the case after all. The professor's murderer is hiding somewhere here in the city. We could have another murder on our hands, if the marionette feels like it.
Looks like the lockdown will have to continue for the time being.
Look, what I don't get is... why did that guy try and cover up the professor's death? There's definitely something fishy going on.
Ash got into an argument with Keith at the hotel.
Director General, do you mind if I duck out early?
God damn it, Ash.
I'm feeling kinda exhausted.
Same old Ash. I suppose it won't hurt. Go on. I'll send you the classified file later.
He's up to sus.
You did good today, Hal. The investigation is important, but make sure you keep an eye on how the city is doing. Okay, after all, counseling is a vital part of any supervisor's role. Go on, Hal. You should head home too.